Uh, Comsec, can you acknowledge the guests and resource persons present? Comsec Attorney J.
Yes, sir. Good morning, Mr.
You can
Chair.
remove your
And
face mask. You can remove your face mask. Ikaw lang naman ata nandyan. Ma'am.
yes, sir. Opo. Good morning, Mr. Chair, and good morning, everyone. We would like to acknowledge our distinguished resource persons, starting from the authors of the bills. We have Representative Frederick Shao from the Lone District of Iligan City, author of House Bill number 7775. We also have Representative Alfel Bascog from the 1st District of Agusan Del Sur, House Bill number 9814 and House Bill number 10256. We also have Representative Ruel Peter Gonzaga, 2nd District of Davao De Oro, House Bill 9815. Next is Representative Josephine Ramirez Sato from the Lone District of Occidental Mindoro, House Bill 10295. Representative Genaro Alvarez, 6th District of Negros Occidental, House Bill number 9819. And together with him is Honorable Angel Fernando, Barangay Captain of Barangay Tagucon, and the DILG Officer of Kabangkalan, Ms. Kathay Baltasar. Representative Alan Duali from the 2nd District of Davao del Sur, House Bill number 9820. Representative Jose Tejada from the 3rd District of North Cotabato, House Bill 10060, and Representative Maria Angelica Amante Matba of the 2nd District of Agusan del Norte, House Bill number 9816. From the government agencies, we have a representative from the Land Management Bureau, Attorney Joanne May Casita. Also from the Department of Budget and Management, we have Ms. Rowena Marte and Mr. Jerdy Paul Mercene, Ms. Danita May Torio, Ms. Mary Queen Wabam, and Mr. Paul Abarca. From the Philippine Statistics Authority, we have Attorney Roseanne de la Cruz Reyes and Attorney Nicole K. James. From the National Commission on Indigenous Peoples, we have Attorney Rizabel M. Aguilar and Attorney Adrian Regine Dunuan. From the League of Cities of the Philippines, we have Ms. Miki Monterde. And from the local government units, we have Mayor Franklin Lim of Santiago, Agusan del Norte, Mayor Ernesto Evangelista, Santo Tomas, Davao del Norte, Mayor Pedro P. Zayco Jr. of Kabangkalan, Negros Occidental. That's all for now, sir.
Sec,
Yes, sir.
meron ba gusto magsalita? Senator Bato is trying to connect, but apparently he doesn't have the link. Comsec, can you provide the Office of Senator De La Rosa the appropriate link for this?
Yes, sir. Will do po.
Yes, naghihintay siya ngayon eh. So we'll proceed. Apparently, browsing all the measures to be tackled today, it would appear that there are two bills that would have to be tackled later, and I'm referring to House Bill 775 of Iligan City, as well as House Bill 10256, authored of Agusan Del Sur, authored by Congressman Bascog. With the permission of the honorable members of the House, we will tackle the said measures later because there are some issues that would have to be answered by PSA, specifically the population relative to the latest survey. Can we now proceed with House Bill 9816, and this is separate an act separating Sitio of Crossing from Barangay Poblacion of the Municipality of Kitcharao, Agusan Del Norte. May we ask the sponsor if she has an opening statement relative to this.
Yes. Mr. Chair, and to the members of the committee and my colleagues who are here right now, a pleasant good morning to all of us po. Mr. Chair, House Bill number 9816 and House Bill number 9818 are actually interrelated, Mr. Chair, because from one main barangay, two others have been created out of it, sir. And it has been in existence for the past 18 years uh, because of the provincial ordinance that was passed last 2004. Mr. Chair, and to the members of the committee, I really seek for your support because for the longest time, for the past 18 years, they are only getting their share from the money, subsistence coming from the municipal government and from the provincial government and a little from their mother barangay. So they were not able, until now, they have not really been able to really move forward as a barangay because of the limited amount that they are getting out of all of these help. So if we are able to pass this through your committee and through the Senate, and they will be getting their share from through their internal revenue allotment, that will mean a lot to the constituents in these areas, Mr. Chair. So may I repeat, Mr. Chair? House Bill number 9816 and 9818, Mr. Chair, are actually related because they come from just one main barangay and two others have been created out of it, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Congresswoman. Just one question. What would be
Yes
the
po.
remaining population of the mother barangay once these measures are approved?
Mr. Chair, ito po yun, Mr. Chair, no?
Do you have a
Even
presentation,
if
ma'am?
this, right now, I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, I don't have the presentation. But Mr. Chair, let me assure po the committee, this will not also be approved by the DILG as an existing barangay po if the population of the main barangay will fall short of what is mandated by the law.
Which is 2,000, ma'am.
Yes po. In fact po, the main is even more than that. That's why we have to create two more because the barangay is just so huge.
So you're referring, ma'am, to Barangay Poblacion.
Yes, this is the mother barangay, Barangay Poblacion. Now we have Barangay Crossing and Barangay Songkoy coming from Barangay Poblacion.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. I
Mr.
have
Chair,
my
thank you very much po.
thank you, ma'am. I have my figures here with me right now. I also have a accompanying figure here that these barangays are still on alert level 3. Tama po ba ako, ma'am?
Yes.
And vaccination rate is hovering below 70%. Am I correct? No offense. May we ask the Philippine Statistics Authority if there is a representative present? Are you around? PSA? PSA?
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. Yes po.
Can you identify yourself and wave? Hindi na, ang daming ID pictures
Irish.
dito. Saan po kayo?
PSA, Attorney Irish po, Mr. Chair.
Yes, can you confirm the population requirement compliance of the we're tackling now two measures in an omnibus manner, 9816 and 9817. Talaga nagmamadali si Governor Angel. So we're tackling Kitcharao and the Municipality of Santiago. Nalipong na ako rito. PSA, can you confirm the population requirements, the compliance therewith? We tackle first Kitcharao. Tama po ba yung population? Barangay Songkoy and Barangay Crossing, and then yung matitira sa Barangay Poblacion, will that fall below the 2,000 requirement of the local government code? PSA, ano yung population ng census nyo ng 2020?
Mr. Chair, apologies, I don't have the data with me right now. I think I would have to get this from another division from our service. I'm from legal service, Mr. Chair. I was just informed of the meeting last night. I'm sorry.
So paano ka makaka-participate dito kung wala kang kung wala kang data? PSA is supposed to provide that.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I will get it within the day, Mr. Chair. I will coordinate with them right now,
Get
Mr.
it
Chair.
today. Get it today before we adjourn. In
Yes,
fairness to the
Mr. Chair.
congressmen present here, you're required to project. We don't want your legal advice. We
Yes,
don't want
Mr.
your legal advice. We want your data in terms
Yes,
of
Mr. Chair.
population. Your legal advice would be immaterial here. We have a substantial number of lawyers here present, including this representation. So can you get it within 30 minutes?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I will ask the proper division to attend this hearing instead, Mr. Chair.
Sabihin mo, hindi namin kailangan ng legal division. Ang kailangan namin yung data.
Yes,
Kaya ka
Mr.
namin
Chair.
in-invite because of the number. You're supposed to census, not provide legal advice. Legal advice should come from DOJ. So we'll ask you within 30 minutes. Be back. Better be back.
Hello.
Yes, Chair, I will coordinate with the proper division, Chair. Thank you so much.
Your Honor, hello.
Who is we'd
Hello.
like to acknowledge the presence of Senator De La Rosa. Sir,
Hello.
good morning. Thank you for being always in attendance. So we now have a quorum. Ang tinatakil po namin, sir, dito yung kay Governor Angel, pinagsabay na niya, nalipong na ako dito, dalawa. So si PSA, wala pang
Hello.
data. Do you have an
Hello.
opening statement, Senator De La Rosa?
Hello, Your Honor.
Mr. Chair, thank you, Mr. Chair. I don't have any opening statement. I am here to support you all the way, Mr. Chair. At saka sa ating mga sponsors from the lower house, I am here also to support all their measures that they are sponsoring, Mr. Chair. Salamat, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Salamat. Sir, ang on deck na yon is Congresswoman Angelica Amante. Tapos sunod-sunod na to mga kababayan mo lahat ito, sir. Patiin mo lang sila ng belated Happy Valentine's.
Nawala si Congressman Angel Amante, Mr. Chair. Humina yung signal niya.
Hello, Your Honor.
Who is trying? Thank you, Senator De La Rosa. Who is trying to explain?
Yeah.
PSA?
Yes, Mr. Chair, Your Honor. I am
Is
Raul.
the same PSA na legal division kanina?
No. I'm from a different division, from the census division po.
Hindi ba kayo nag-uusap na dalawa o magkaiba kayo ng
Actually,
location?
magkaiba po kami ng location. So, can I speak about the
Yes, go ahead.
population?
We're now tackling 9816 and 9817. I'm asking about the PSA census for 2020.
Okay. So, Your Honor, actually, Barangay Songkoy and Barangay Crossing were already created during the 2020 census of population. So it has already a population that was officially proclaimed by the President in July last year. So the population of Barangay Songkoy in Kitcharao, Agusan Del Norte, based on the 2020 census of population, was 2,439. That was May 1, 2020 as reference period. While the population of Barangay Crossing, also in Kitcharao, Agusan Del Norte, was 3,362, also based on the 2020 CPH, May 1st, 2020. So that is all, Your Honor, regarding the
What about
population.
the mother barangay, Barangay Poblacion? What is the remaining population?
Actually, sige sir, I will try to open up another file, but I can provide you after this, because so I will get back to you, sir. I'll just look at a certain a file, a worksheet,
So siguro PSA, i-prepare nyo na sa lahat kasi ang issue dito, the minimum population requirement should not be less if there is a newly created barangay. So be prepared for the rest of the nine other measures that we are about to tackle. Pwede ba yun? Pwede mo pagandaan?
Yes, apo.
Can we go to since Congresswoman Angel already invoked House Bill 9817, what about the Municipality of Santiago?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am,
Mr.
Congresswoman.
Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. Senator Bato, good morning. Naara ko. Okay, Mr. Chair. Sitio Pangailan, as of 2020 po, they have a census of 2,079. And the mother barangay, which is Poblacion 1, has a census of 6,374 as of 2020. Now, this is very important, Mr. Chair. You know why po? Sitio Pangailan is dominated by IPs. So they want to be governed by their own rules as well. They don't merge with the Bisaya group. And they were the ones who requested that they become a barangay. They're only a city before. So provincial order that was passed in 2010, they became a barangay, an IP barangay. So I passed this House bill in order for them to be able to also get the same amount of support coming from the national government through the internal revenue allotment, if the committee will support me as well.
Yes, ma'am. I understand you're referring to the tribes of Manobo and Manawa. They really deserve to have their own barangays. Am I correct, ma'am?
Yes po, they're the Manobo and the Mamanwa.
Yes. PSA?
Mamanwa.
Mamanwa, I'm sorry. PSA, are you
Yes.
still there?
Yes, Your Honor.
Can you confirm the population requirements,
Of,
compliance with this?
of what may I ask
Municipality of
Pangailan,
Santiago,
sir.
Barangay Pangailan,
Pangailan.
that's IP,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah, based on the 2020 census of population, Barangay Pangailan IP has had 2,079 inhabitants as of May 1, 2020 po.
Thank you, PSA. May we ask DBM, if you're around, DBM, Department of Budget and Management.
Mr. Chair and the members of the committee, good morning. My name is
Decision on this. We're now tackling in an omnibus manner 9186 and 9187. Start with 9186.
yes, Mr. Chair. May we respectfully inform po that the Department of Budget and Management, through the letter dated January 14, 2022, signed by the DBM officer in charge, Undersecretary Tina Rosemary Calcanda, has already submitted its comments and recommendations on the proposed measures, Mr. Chair.
And the gist of the recommendation would be?
The recommendation of DBM is as long as the proposed barangays have complied with the population requirement as prescribed under the Local Government Code of 1991, then we will interpose no objection to in their inclusion in the allocation of the national tax allotment. So that's the gist of the position of the DBM, Mr. Chair. And of course, that will be subject to the documents and data that may be provided or verified by the Philippine Statistics Authority, having functional jurisdiction over matters concerning the population counts of these barangays.
Thank you, DBM. But I'm not against this, but for my education, personal education, we'll be creating several barangays in the entire universe of Philippine barangays. How many barangays are there?
So far, Mr. Chair, there are around 41,000 barangays.
So yes, I understand. 41,000. We create additional barangays. And if we compute the entire national tax allotment, what would be the reduction per barangay? Give me a chart per barangay in terms of percentage, in terms of peso allotment. If all these measures will be passed, that's number one. And number two, provide me a computation likewise. What would be the compensating increase if the Mandanas ruling is faithfully implemented in terms of all, as regards all these 41,000 plus barangays? Can you provide me with that data, DBM?
Yes, Mr. Chair. May we request for the exact number of barangays that are being sought to be
It's part of
created.
it's part of the agenda. I think you have a copy. I think you have a
Um,
copy. Comsec, can you provide DBM a copy of the number of barangays about to be created? The agenda will speak for itself.
Yes, Mr. Chair, may I respectfully represent na po that as of December 31, 2022 or 2021, there are 41,933 barangays, and there are now existing 113 barangays that are not recipient of the national tax allotment. So these barangays under these proposed measures are just part of the 113 barangays that are not presently receiving IRA because they were created by either the provincial government or the city government after the enactment of the local government code of 1991.
Yes, that's
So-
that's the reason why I was asking you. If we create this X number of barangays, what would be the reduction per barangay in terms of the original number, and what would be the compensating increase if the Mandanas ruling is faithfully executed? So ano lang yan, comparison lang yan. Hindi
Yes,
naman ngayon,
Mr.
kahit
Chair.
bukas.
Can we give the data,
For
Mr. Chair, in
education
a few
only.
moment? After mga 2 minutes lang po, we'll just do the computation, the simulation.
You
Mr.
can provide within 2 minutes.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Ano lang po, the general ano lang po, the general computation. The specific computation will be provided po in a separate communication letter to the committee.
You should be promoted within the DBM family and be absorbed by the next administration for being very efficient. At tumatawa si Senator Bato, i-recommend ka na. DILG, any comments on this two measures? DILG? Any representative from DILG? Comsec, we cannot hear you. Comsec, please unmute. Comsec. Bago yung Comsec natin, Senator Bato, pang-apat na palit na to. Kaya nagtagal yung mga ibang bills. Comsec, we cannot hear you. Please unmute.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Yes, we can hear you
Yes,
now.
opo. Sorry, sir.
Akala ko nagkakaraoke ka na eh.
No,
So,
sir, ano lang po. Pasensya na po.
Sino ang DILG representative here?
Sir, we sent a notice to the DILG since Monday, but they were not able to send a representative today.
Can you call Yusek Echeverry? He's always
Um,
present. Can you call
Sir,
him?
hindi na po siya ang but we'll try to contact them again, sir. Opo.
Please do, kasi baka
Yes
hindi
po.
pa kilala yung number mo kasi ngayon ka lang nag-assume. Baka hindi pa nila ma-recognize yung yung number mo. So, Senator De La Rosa, any comments on this? I don't see any hindrance or legal obstacle as to the passage of House Bill 9186 and 9187.
Mr. Chair, since it is sponsored by our colleagues from the lower house, siguro pinag-aralan na ng gusto nila yan lahat at I am supporting all these measures, Mr. Chair. Siguro, Mr. Chair, comment ko lang baka yung DILG sumabay rin sa break ng Congress. Kaya siguro walang representative, Mr. Chair. Lugi tayo, naka-break tayo supposed to be today, pero nag-hearing tayo. Pero yung DILG, hindi man siguro sila naka-break. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator De La Rosa. So without, again, I reiterate that it appears that there will be no legal obstacles relative to the passage of House Bills 9186 and 9187, and without objection, House Bill number 9186 as well as House Bill number 9817 will be elevated to the plenary and is hereby approved at committee level. Thank you, Congressman Angel.
Thank
Ang bilis nito.
Thank you.
Ang daya mo, bidilis, sinabay mo na itong dalawa. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. We now
Thank you po.
proceed to House Bill 9184. Separating the Sitio of Batucan from Barangay Del Monte in the Municipality of Talacogon, Province of Agusan Del Sur, introduced by Congressman Afel Bascog. Congressman Afel, are you present, sir?
Yes, yes, Mr. Senator. Actually,
Saan po
a
kayo? Can
pleasant
you wait? Sir, where are you, sir? Yes, sorry, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Do you have an opening statement, sir?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Senator. A pleasant morning, Mr. Chair, and to everyone attending this public hearing. I would like to express my warmest gratitude to this honorable committee for including my barangay bills in this public meeting today. This public hearing sparks hope to my constituent that finally, Sitio Batucan in the Municipality of Talacogon. Actually, the mayor of Municipality of Talacogon is present today, Mayor Pauline Masendo, will be made regular barangay. For the record, we have already submitted to the Honorable Committee the documentary requirements for House Bills 9814 to wit, Sangguniang Panlalawigan Ordinances, Comelec certification that plebiscite was conducted, PSA certification of population count, and technical descriptions are certified by the Land Management Bureau. I hope that this will help the honorable senators, Senator Francis, the chairman, and we have here Senator Bato de la Rosa, who are present today. The people of Agusan Del Sur will soon have a new barangay. It is with confidence to state that the passage of this bill is crucial to the development of Barangay Batucan as distinct and independent barangay being able to sustain the demands of its constituency. Thank you po, Mr. Chairman, and keep safe.
Congressman, I just have one minor question. I have a map here of Barangay Batucan, Municipality
Yes,
of
sir.
Talacogan. Sir, if you can see this, enclosed within the red portion is the barangay, the boundaries of Barangay Batucan. Ano po yung green? The dark green area, which is different in shade from Barangay Batucan. Ano po yung green? Can you see this, sir? Ano po yung dark green?
Green.
Opo, kasi yung barangay parang may triangular portion na nasa dark green. Ano po yung pagkakaiba nandun sa lighter shade ng adjoining map? Is it a forest area? Is it a mountainous area? Is it a ridge portion?
Actually, I don't have the map, Mr. Chair. Wala akong map dito ng Saan mo po nakuha yung structural map po?
It was provided to the committee. Apparently there is a body of water. Tubig siguro itong blue.
Yes,
Pero yung sa Barangay Batucan, yung area po niya merong sa triangular portion dark green na shade. O baka sa printing lang po. O yung map, sir.
sa printing siguro, Mr. Chair. Kasi hindi ko nakita talaga dito. Walang sa iba din ang map ko dito na nakalagay po.
Ganon, iba. O. Perhaps the mayor can clarify this if the mayor is around.
Okay. Yes,
Mayor?
Mr. Chair. Mayor Masendo is present. Pwede
Mayor,
siguro
sir, good morning.
explain lang.
Mayor, parang galing po sa local government po ito. Yung dulo, ibang shade na. Anong ibig sabihin po nun? Forestry, reserve area, or what? IP settlement? Mayor, are you still there? Nawala atang connection kay Mayor. Mayor? Land Management Bureau. Is the Land Management Bureau present? LMB?
Good
Land
morning,
Management Bureau. Yes.
Yes, Mr. Chair, good morning.
Ano po itong shade na dark sa mapa ng barangay? At magkaiba? Do you have the same copy?
Yes, Mr. Chair, but in our copy that is not the color, Mr. Chair. I believe that there might be something with the printing only, Mr. Chair.
So, thank you. Since you're LMB, I concur with your opinion. So contiguous, no problem. Population, PSA, are you still around? PSA,
Yes, Your
Raul,
Honor.
yes.
do you
Please go ahead.
confirm
Yes.
that the population is 2,160?
Yeah, Barangay Del Monte, Talacogon, Agusan Del Sur, based on the 2020 CPH, the population of Barangay Batucan is 2,160, while its mother barangay, Barangay Del Monte, 7,777.
So more than enough.
Yeah.
So I don't see any legal obstacle here. You're in compliance with the requirements of Section 8 of Republic Act 7160 or the Local Government Code.
Yes,
Senator De La Rosa, unless you have an objection, since this is part of your region, would you?
I'm okay with that, Mr. Chair. No objection.
Siguro just one minor question, Congressman.
Yes.
Kumusta po ang vaccination rate dito sa sa Municipality of the Municipality of Talacogon?
Yes, Mr. Chair, mataas ang ano dyan. Okay sila, ang rating. Talagang nagko-congrats ako kay Mayor for their support, ng support nila sa vaccination program.
So congratulations as well to the mayor and the LGU of the Municipality of Talacogon.
Yes.
Without objection, coming from my colleagues, we approve House Bill 9184 and elevate the same to the plenary.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mr.
Congressman, thank
Chair.
you.
Mr. Chair.
Congresswoman, yes. Yes,
Mr.
ma'am.
Chair,
Congressman
sorry.
Marte.
Mr. Chair, I'm so sorry po. Kasi we missed out on one House bill. We passed House Bill number 9816, House Bill number 9817, but we missed out on House Bill number 9818.
We will go into that, ma'am, because we are trying to nudge PSA to have their records complete.
Okay.
So that's why we skipped that and we went to
Okay.
9184.
Okay,
Thank you for
Mr.
reminding
Chair.
us.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
We now proceed to House Bill 9185, an act separating Sitio of Bukal from Barangay Mainit in the Municipality of Nabunturan, Davao De Oro. This used to be Compostela, Bali. Is the author or are the authors present here?
Yes, Mr. Chair, good morning. I am Congressman Roel Peter Gonzaga.
You have the floor, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chair, Senator Francis. Good morning, Senator De La Rosa, to my colleagues and members, guests. I have my explanatory note attached to the record, and I would like that be considered as my opening statement as well as my sponsor's speech, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Secretariat, take note of that, to have the explanatory note of the good congressman be part of the records of this proceedings. May we know from PSA if we have the exact population compliance here, because my records would show that 2020 census is 4,461. Is it correct?
Yes, Your Honor. 4,461, while the mother barangay, which is Barangay Mainit, 8,271.
8,271.
Yeah, the mother barangay po.
Yes, and this is the ALG around now? ALG?
Not yet, sir. We're
Wala
still
pa. So,
following up, sir. Opo.
can we ask Congressman Roel, the previous barangay was created by virtue of an ordinance when it was still known as Compostela Valley. Now it is known as the province of Davao De Oro. Does it follow that the previously created barangay is still an acknowledged
Local government.
barangay, although it is not receiving any NTA from the national government? Or do we have to pass another Sangguniang Panlalawigan resolution as a new political entity coming from the province of the now newly created Davao De Oro? What is the opinion of the good congressman here?
Well, thank you, sir. My opinion is it is carried because when Davao del Norte was the mother barangay and this Compostela Valley is part of Davao del Norte, the leadership, the governor as well as the Sangguniang Panlalawigan, exercised this discretion to make a barangay out of the mother barangay. The mother barangay is Mainit, and here comes the Barangay Bukal. Nobody questioned it. So the intention and the purpose as well as the spirit of the legislation adopted by the previous leadership has not been questioned ever since. And even now, in fact, before I filed this bill in the lower house, there was the support of the Municipality of Nabunturan as well as of the mother barangay. So I would consider that as an affirmation of what we have done in the lower house as well as of today. So I consider that as there is no need to make another ordinance from the province so that this will be affirmed by the present leadership, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Congressman. I totally agree with you. In fact, I'm very supportive of Nabunturan. I think you have a good lady chief executive there. I recall that 3 weeks ago, after Odette, we distributed some. Although Nabunturan was not affected by Odette, I complied with my promise to distribute some eggs to Nabunturan just 3 weeks ago.
Yes, sir.
Congressman. So I'm in full support of this measure. You're in compliance with all the requirements coming from the local government code, unless the senator from Davao has some objections as to Nabunturan. Senator De La Rosa, you recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is not an objection. Inquiry lang, Mr. Chair. Magtatanong lang sana ako kung Congressman Ruel, kung ito ba yung Bukal yung Tuyuso hot spring resort?
Yes, sir. Part po siya ng Bukal ngayon.
Part ng Bukal yan siya.
Yes, sir.
I confirm, Mr. Chair, dahil sa ganda ng lugar na yan, ang dami na nakatira kayo dyan. Kung population-wise, sigurado ako, punong-puno na ng tao yan. Maraming tao dyan dahil maganda yung lugar na yan. At saka maganda yung mining dyan sa lugar na yan. Kaya maraming na nakatira dyan ngayon. So, yun lang, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
I just wonder if
Thank you.
Thank you.
Senator De La Rosa, sinama ba natin to sa Metro Davao Development Authority?
Hindi na, Mr. Chair, dahil nasa loob yan ng Hindi yan along the coastal area ng Davao Gulf sa mountainous area na yan, banda. Pero maraming gold dyan,
Mako lang po, Municipality of Mako lang po yung nasali doon sa Metro Davao.
Yes, so I'm asking this because we just passed that measure and it includes Mabini, Panabo, the Island Garden City of Samal, including Tagum. But I recall there is one municipality included in that measure. Tama po ba yun, Senator?
Yes, totoo yun. Pati yata yung municipality of Mabini, nakasama ba doon?
Mabini, yes. And of course, your amendments, yung dinagdag mo from Davao del Sur, marami kang dinagdag, Santa Cruz, and others.
I included all the municipalities of Davao Sur along the coastline, Mr. Chair. At saka yung sa Davao Occidental para may continuity yung development.
Yes, and for the information of Congressman Roel, there will be created a new Metro Davao Police District, which is separate from the regional office of the PNP and separate from the provincial police office of the PNP. So you will have a one-star general for that Metro Davao Police District. So without objections coming from my other colleagues, House Bill number 9185 is hereby approved, and the same will be elevated to the plenary for its consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Senator Bato.
Thank you, Congressman. Thank you, Congressman. Pwede ka na mangampanya uli. Maano ka naman.
Excuse me,
We
Mr.
turn
Chair.
now. Who is trying to
Comsec po.
check? Yes.
DILG is here na po.
Sinong
Attorney
DILG
Cynthia Polido.
She is representing
DILG
Echeverry,
po.
the DILG.
Yes po.
We'll ask her
Apo.
later.
Thank you, sir.
We now go to House Bill 9818, an act separating the Sitio of Songkoy from the Barangay Poblacion in the Municipality of Kitcharao, Province of Agusan Del Norte, introduced by Congresswoman Angelica Amante. Ma'am, you have the floor.
Mr. Chair, Mr. Chair, we have already discussed this a while ago, Mr. Chair. This was the one I was explaining to you that there are two different House bills, 9816, 9818. Two barangays have been called out of one main barangay, and that is Barangay Poblacion of Kitcharao. And our representative from the PSA a while ago already confirmed that for Barangay Songkoy, the 2020 census was, Poblacion was 2079, and Barangay Songkoy is, they can confirm this again po, Mr. Chair, no? But for Barangay Songkoy, it's a little over 2,000 again. I'm sorry, I don't have it here. I lost it, but I had it a while ago. 2,000 barangays. What is Songkoy? Mr. Chair, can we ask PSA, Mr. Chair, to confirm the population of Barangay Songkoy and Barangay Poblacion?
PSA, are you still around?
Yeah.
I'm not
Yes,
referring to the legal division. PSA
Yes, sir.
census. Go
Yes,
ahead.
Your Honor. Actually, Barangay Songkoy, based on the 2020 Census of Population and Housing, had a population of 2,439, and its mother barangay, Barangay Poblacion, had a remaining population of 3,372. Ano? Yeah, 2,372.
2,372.
Yep. Yeah.
My records would show 2,439, which is which?
Barangay Songkoy, Your Honor, is the newly created barangay. It has a population of 2,439.
So pasok.
Yes, Your Honor.
Pasok, sir.
Yeah, this is a barangay which straddles the boundary of Surigao del Norte as well as Surigao del Sur.
Yes, sir. Alegria. Yes, sir. Yes po. Kitcharao. Alegria po. The Municipality of Surigao del Norte.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, PSA. What about the ALG? Any comments on this? House Bill 9818. The ALG.
Hello, sir. Good morning po.
Yes. What do you mean by DILG LLLS? Ano ba yung
Sir,
LLLS?
Legal and Legislative Liaison Service, sir.
Okay. Are you authorized to comment on this? House Bill 9818. Nasaan si Yusek Echeverry?
Sir, nalipat na po siya. He already
Para na-
transferred to a different agency. Executive Director na po
Ba?
yata siya ng isang
Saan
commission.
na siya? Saan na siya?
Immigrant work workers yata, sir, if I'm not mistaken. Yung newly created na office.
Wala pa yun. Wala pang ano yun. Hindi pa na-implement yun. So he transferred there.
Sir, nag-oath na siya.
Nag-oath na
Lumipat
siya.
na
Wala
siya
pang
after.
opisina yun. Wala pang opisina. Akala ko tumutulong dun sa tatay. Kasi we created a new congressional district for Caloocan. Kandidato ata yung father niya doon. So go ahead, comment on this, 9818.
Sir, sa 9818, actually, we have no objection kasi ang creation naman po ng barangay is authorized under Section 6, Section 7, and Section 386 of the Local Government Code. May loan lang po kami na comment, sir, kasi there is a certain portion po yata which uses yung word na internal revenue share.
We will amend that. We will use NTA. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir. Due to the Mandanas ruling.
So just
Yun lang
change
po, sir.
ERA to NTA.
Yes, sir. Yun lang po yung comment.
And can you coordinate with the DBM? Kasi DBM promised me 2 minutes daw, sabi niya, to provide me a matrix of what would be the reduction for all the barangays, 41,000, as well as the corresponding compensating increase by virtue of the Mandanas ruling. Sabi nung DBM kanina, in 2 minutes daw, matatapos na. 10 minutes na kami nag-uusap ni Senator Bato, wala pa si DBM. So is DBM, are you hearing what I'm saying, what I've just said?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Yes, Mr. Chair. Actually,
Sabi mo 2 minutes lang.
no, sir, we were ready by 2 minutes. Kaya lang, I did not raise my hand because you were having your discussion on the other measures.
So can you give us a brief rundown of the figures
Yes,
for my
sir.
education as well as the education of all the resource persons present here?
I will, Mr. Chair. Thank you very much, po. Well, what we did, Mr. Chair, is to base the simulation on the 2022 NTA shares of the LGUs because we do not yet have the aggregate figures for 2023. So based on the 959.04 billion NTA shares of local government units, the NTA is corresponding to 20% is 191.81 billion pesos. So that is the 20% shares of the barangays. So presently, there are 41,933 barangays entitled to NTA. And the average NTA of those barangays is 4,574,160. So if we will include these 19 proposed barangays under the proposed measures, Mr. Chair, the average NTA of all barangays in 2022 will now be only around 4,572,088 pesos. So that will be a reduction of around 2,072 from the existing.
That again, 2,072 pesos.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
So kasama na po yung increase ng Mandanas ruling doon o wala pa?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Kasama na po siya because the implementation of the Mandanas ruling started in 2022. So that 959.04 billion NTA of the local government units already includes the increase by virtue of the implementation of the Mandanas ruling.
What about without Mandanas ruling, yung usapan natin kanina? So dalawang matrix. Without Mandanas ruling, what would be the reduction? With the Mandanas ruling, what would be the reduction as well as the increase?
Well, the Mr. Chair, will be 37.89% decrease kung hindi po natin isasama yung Mandanas ruling. So
for just 19 barangays, the 41,000 barangays nationwide will incur a 37.9% decrease. Parang mali.
So, 37.9 increase po yung sa Mandanas, Mr. Chair. So if we will go back to the pre-Mandanas ruling, that will be 37.89% decrease. Kung i-ano natin siya, based on the figures that I have presented to you. I'll do the computation, Mr. Chair.
Parang mali, sir, kasi 19 barangays lang yung nadagdag. Tapos nabawasan kagad ng 37%, parang malaki yun. Parang parang ipinasok mo na sa computation kagad yung I'm not a statistician pero I think you have to review your figures again and we will give you more than 2 minutes to review your figures.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. DBM, thank you. Senator De La Rosa, do we have other comments on 9818 before we approve this?
None, Mr. Chair. Okay lang.
Without objection, House Bill 9818 is hereby approved and will be elevated to the plenary. Congratulations, Congressman Angel.
Mr. Chair, daghan kayong salamat. Senator Bato, daghan kayong salamat po.
We now proceed to House Bill 9819. House Bill 9819. House Bill 9819 is an act separating the Sitio of Batucan from Barangay Kamigawan, the City of Kabangkalan, Province of Negros Occidental, sponsored by Congressman Alvarez. Congressman Alvarez, you have the floor for your opening statement.
Well, Mr. Chairman, thank you, sir. Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead, sir. Congressman.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, by the way, Mr. Chairman, Senator Tolentino, thank you very much for helping my district in the last Typhoon Odette for the construction, for coming from your construction materials and rice. I would like to thank you in behalf of all my mayors here in my district. Sir, do you hear me? Yes, of course. Only kabati ko. Hello? I cannot hear you, sir.
We can hear you po. Sige lang, go ahead na.
Okay, anyway, thank you very much for including my bill into this agenda. Mr. Chair, with me is Mayor Pedro Saico Jr. and the Barangay Captain of Tagucon, Capitan Fernando, and the ILG Officer of Kabangkalan, Ms. Cathy Baltasar. Mr. Chair, this bill seeks for recognition from the national government a provincially created barangay named Barangay Tagucon in Kabangkalan City, Negros Occidental. It has been 27 years, Mr. Chair, 27 years since the creation of this barangay. It received support from the city. For this year, 2 million pesos was given for its operations, salaries, and projects. This barangay played a crucial role, especially during the pandemic, as it is the gateway of Negros Occidental and from Negros Oriental. This bill was approved by the lower house in the 17th Congress and in the present. It is a dream and hope of the people of Tagucon to be recognized and given the support it deserves. We hope that your committee will make this dream a reality. Thank you for your support, Mr. Chair. And by the way, I would like to repeat, thank you very much for your help in my district in the last Typhoon Odette.
Thank you, Congressman. Katulong ko rin po doon si Senator De La Rosa. Injured lang siya, kaya hindi siya nakabuhat ng yero. Kasi laging nagmotor-motor si Senator De La Rosa. So, thank you, Congressman.
Okay.
I have one question. Can I address this to the mayor or perhaps the DILG? Ano po ba ang Kabangkalan? Is it a highly urbanized city? Is it a just an independent chartered city? What's the classification of Kabangkalan?
Mr. Chair, no, Kabangkalan City is a component city.
Component city. Because if it is a highly urbanized city, the barangay population requirement would be 5,000. So kagaya po ng sinabi ni Congressman, pasok sa population requirement itong barangay Tagucon, sir. Tagucon, which has a population of 4,061. Tama po ba yan, Mayor?
4,973, sir.
Tumama na. Number based on, because your census was 2020. PSA, are you around?
Yes, Your Honor.
What is the population of Barangay Tagucon?
Based on the 2020 CPH, Barangay Tagucon had a population of 4,601. That was in May 1, 2020.
Pero sa si Mayor ngayon, 4,973 na, dumami na.
Maybe that's their own census.
Sir, that is, excuse me, sir, that is the information coming from the barangay. But yes, during 2020 PSE data, we have 4,601.
Yes.
Thank you.
And-
So more than enough. We just need 2,000, Mayor. So I don't see any problem concerning Barangay Tagupon. Perhaps a question might interest likewise Senator De La Rosa. What about the peace and order in Tagupon? I was informed that no offense to our colleagues here, that several towns were placed under areas of interest by the Commission on Elections. May kasama po ba yun sa Kabangkalan, sir?
Hindi, sir. No? You have a very peaceful, it's a peaceful barangay, no? Barangay Tagupon. And it is located on the boundary of Negros Oriental and Negros Occidental. No? So, ang dialect is Kuana is mix, no? Bisaya and Ilonggo.
Ano na ako doon, dili na ako kasulte pag nagsama na yung dalawa. Natanong ko lang po yun kasi ang daming lumabas sa newspapers, yung Salvador Benedicto, and 10 other towns na.
So that's no, that LGU is on the north side.
I just raised that for my own education, sir, and I'd like to congratulate you for having a high vaccination rate for the city of Kabangkalan, and I do hope you recover fast soon in terms of the damage brought about by Typhoon Odette, including Hinubaan.
Yes,
sir. Senator De La Rosa, you have other questions before we ask DBM?
Sir,
yes, go ahead, Mayor.
I would like to give my thanks for your donation. It's yung mga yero, materials, and rice, no, for this last Typhoon Odette. You know, Kabangkalan was hardly hit by this Typhoon Odette. Maraming salamat, sir.
Katulong ko po doon si Senator De La Rosa, hindi lang po
Yes, of course, and si Senator De La Rosa. Thank you, sir. Senator.
Thank you, sir.
Maraming salamat.
Thank you again to our good mayor and Congressman Alvarez. DLG, any comments on the creation of the new barangay in Kabangkalan? DLG, are you still around? DLG? Wala na yung DLG.
Cynthia? Attorney Cynthia.
Comsec, can we unmute the ALG and place her on the spot?
Attorney Cynthia, are you still there?
So we'll just ask the ALG to submit their position paper, but siguro, Comsec, alert always the ALG. Kasama sila dito sa hearing na to. Oo, maaga ata sila nag-lunch. 11 o'clock pa lang naman. So the ALG, unless you want to be transferred to the overseas immigration department also, the ALG, wala talaga to the ALG.
She got disconnected, sir. We will call her.
Ganun ba?
Okay.
So without objections coming from my colleagues, we approve the committee level House Bill 9819, and the same shall likewise be elevated to the plenary.
Pasalamati na. Salamati.
Thank you very much, Senator. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Mayor Saiko, thank you also. Congratulations. And please recover soon enough. Mahaba-haba pa yan. Talagang tumama yung Odette. But I'm sure you will be able to gain grounds with you at the helm. Dagang salamat, sir.
Maraming
salamat. We now proceed to House Bill 9820, an act separating the Sitio of Tulalian from Barangay Balangunan in the Municipality of Santa Cruz, Province of Davao del Norte. Do we have the author here, or the authors? Congressman Duali Gonzalez? Yes, sir.
Yes,
You're
good morning,
recognized. Hi, Congressman Alan. You're recognized.
Good morning,
Have the floor, sir.
Good morning, Senator Tolentino. Good morning, kabayan. Senator Bato de la Rosa. Daghang salamat. Daghang salamat for including 2 of my cities and 1 town in the Metro Davao Development Authority. Lipay ka ang taga Davao kaya na-appeal mi sa Metro Davao. Good morning to my colleague in the lower house, to our guest, to Comsec. I would like to read my position paper.
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Tulalian is located in the municipality of Santo Tomas, province of Davao del Norte. It is used to be a sitio for a part of Barangay Balagunan of the municipality of Santo Tomas. But in 1994, a plebiscite was conducted and supervised by the Commission on Election pursuant to a provincial ordinance which was enacted and passed by the Sangguniang Panlalawigan on July 24, 1994, which ratified the creation of Barangay Tulalian as proclaimed by the Plebiscite Board of Canvassers on October 23, 1994. This was considered as a substantial compliance with the plebiscite requirements under Section 10 of the Local Government Code of the Philippines as amended. For 26 years, since the time of its creation, Barangay Tulalian has not received any internal revenue allotment from the national government. The barangay has depended solely on the municipality of Santo Tomas and the provincial government of Davao del Norte for budget allocation and financial assistance. The province and the municipality of Santo Tomas have been allocating from the annual budget 500,000 pesos and 800,000 pesos, respectively, for a total of 1,300,000 pesos. This yearly financial support is utilized for personal services, maintenance and operation, and barangay level projects and activities. The lack of IRA from the national government has posed a great challenge to barangay officials to address the development issues and respond to the needs of their constituency for efficient and service delivery. It has Barangay Tulalian to implement its plans, programs, projects, and activities. In view of the foregoing, the significant House bill seeks to remedy the issue of non-IRA for Barangay Tulalian, which has a total population of 4,606, 2020 census, and a land area of 1,282 hectares. Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, your honors, I humbly ask you for support for the immediate passing of the bill for the good and welfare of this barangay and our people. Mr. Chair, with me is the Mayor of Santo Tomas, Mayor Manong Erning Evangelista, and the Barangay Captain of Tulalian, Barangay Captain Gumanit, and some of the councilors of Barangay Tulalian. A pleasant morning, Mr. Chair and Senator Bato de la Rosa.
Thank you, Congressman. Mayor, the Mayor of Santo Tomas, you would like to say something? We'll allow you. Yes, sir. We cannot see you. Nasaan po kayo?
May buntag, sir.
Mayor Evangelista, may buntag.
Thank you for our my idol, Senator Francis Tolentino, Committee Chair on Local Government. Sir, thank you very much. In behalf of the Municipality of Santo Tomas, my sincere thanks and gratitude for acting on the creation of Barangay Tulalian through the sponsorship of Congressman Alan Dole and Congressman Gonzales, and of course Congressman Lusutan for how many long years, sir, that this barangay is seeking for their independent barangay as well. So, sir, salamat of course sa effort ni Congressman Alan Dole for having introducing this House Bill number 9820. So far, sir, ngayon lang ko katabang sa imo, sir, nga mapanunta sa budget. And sir, before I forget, I would like to spell out the Municipality of Santo Tomas. I would like to correct the word Santo Tomas, not STO, sir. I would like to please inform the PSA also to spell out Santo Tomas as
Can you repeat that, sir?
SANTO, sir?
So what is
SANTO.
what is
Yes,
on
sir.
record right now? STO.
STO, sir. Yes, that is because this Santo Tomas STO, sir, is belong to Batangas. So I would like to spell out, sir, that we in Santo Tomas is SANTO, sir.
We will we take note of that, Mayor. We will rectify that in the bill, and then
Yes,
we
sir.
will furnish copies to the post office
Thank
and
you very
other
much, sir.
government agencies to have this corrected.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir,
Ayaw
for
nyo ng
your
shortcut,
support.
sir, parang University of Santo Tomas. Ayaw nyo ng ganun.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
So, PSA, can you confirm the number of population? 4,606, 2020 census, PSA.
Yes, Your Honor. Based on the 2020 CPH, Tulalian had a population of 4,606, while its mother barangay, Barangay Balagunan, has 6,230.
230.
And
230.
further po regarding the Santo Tomas, actually in our records, Philippine Standard Geographic Code, it's really SANTO. It's spelled out. It's not STO.
Sino pong gumagawa ng STO?
Hindi ko po alam. Sa bill po siguro, pero in our records po, in our reports, it's SANTO. Siguro sa pag-type lang minsan na ina-abbreviate siya. But officially,
Siguro if
Mayor,
PSA is under NEDA. So if PSA can likewise write the other relevant government agencies, postal office, the NEDA regional office,
yes.
as well as the DILG, mababago na po siguro. Yes, so para
Yes,
magtama na lahat ito. This is
yes,
one way of correcting everything.
Actually,
Sa mapa ninyo, yung mapa ninyo.
yes. Actually, Your Honor, we are the one releasing updates on the Philippine Standard Geographic Code, and this is available online. So if Postal Corporation and all other agencies are following our PSGC, then it must be consistent. All names of the barangays of geographic
And
areas.
avoid shortcuts kasi doon
Yes.
nagkakagulo-gulo eh. Yung
Yes,
STO
Your Honor.
parang sa PCSO yun eh. STI naman yun. So avoid shortcuts to avoid confusion.
Yes, Your Honor.
PSA. So you confirm 4,606?
Yes, Your Honor.
So I don't see any legal impediment as to House Bill 982. This is ang ganda pala ng location nito in Santo Tomas. You straddle an area between Davao del Sur and Davao del Norte and Compostela Valley. So napakaganda nitong, is this part of the Metro Davao Development Authority?
Hindi kasama.
Pero coastal,
Hindi
sir.
kasama. Yung kasama lang Panabo, Carmen, and Island Garden City of Samar.
Sayang, katabi na sir, nasa coastal na.
Sana may sama. Kasi likod yung Davao City rin eh.
Yes, so katabi na siya. Ang ganda ng location, sir. Compostela Valley, Davao del Sur, and Davao del Norte. Nasa ano siya? Nasa gitna po siya. Papayag po si Senator Bato nito.
Kabayan.
Santo Tomas.
Proposed amendment
later on.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
Yung sabi mo siguro boundary with Davao Sur ng Santo Tomas, siguro yan yung part ng Davao City. Dahil
Davao City na to.
Oo, kasi yung Davao City kasi is identified yan na part of Davao Sur. Hanggang ngayon, kahit na highly urbanized city na siya, hindi pa ata na-correct yung mga pagtaging ng mga mapa dyan. So baka Davao City ata yung kuha niya dyan.
Yes, magalit sa atin si Mayor Inday nito pag nakuha natin pa yung Baka pakibato na tong barangay na yung katabi. So,
Yan, yung mga malapit na yan dyan, no? Sa city pa rin.
Yes, so may error, may kulpa. So I think we don't have any objections as to the conversion of this barangay in the Municipality of Santo Tomas, unless DBM has any opposition. DBM, are you still there? Wala na rin DBM.
We are still here, Mr. Chair.
Any comments on this? Pasok pa rin ba? Yung tanong ko kanina, yung magulong sagot mo, na pag nag-create na 19 barangays, 37% ang reduction? Tama pa rin? Do you still insist on that?
No, Mr. Chair. What we mentioned, Mr. Chair, is the creation of these 19 barangays will result to 2,072 degrees in the 2022 NTA shares of the existing barangays. So yung 37.89% na yun, we were referring to the increase in the 2022 NTA shares of LGUs by virtue of the Mandanas ruling. On a year-on-year basis po yun, 2021 to 2022. So just for clarity, Mr. Chair.
So hindi yun yung reduction, yung 37%.
No, that's the Mr. Chair. That's the effect of the Mandanas ruling and the year-on-year expansion in the NTA shares of LGUs from 2021 to 2022.
What about providing some music to the ears of the people of Barangay Tolalian? If we approve this, when will they receive, lahat ng barangays, itong 19, when will they receive their appropriate increase? Hindi pa increase yun, inclusion in the NPA. Will
Yes,
it be this year or next year? Kailan gagawin niyo ng TBM? Ito yung gusto mapakinggan ng mga 19 barangays ngayon eh.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Kailan na marireceive? Next quarter? O kung kailan to?
No, if the Congress, Mr. Chair, will enact these proposed measures into a law and the President will approve them and they will be ratified through a plebiscite. Although yung iba existing na and the plebiscite conducted previously will be the plebiscite for this purpose, the soonest that we can include them, Mr. Chair, is in January 2023. Consistent with Section 93 of the general provisions of the 2022 General Appropriations Act, which says that all valid adjustments affecting the computation of the NTA shall be effected in the following year, which is 2023. Therefore, Mr. Chair, the soonest that we can include them is in 2023, assuming that the Congress will enact the law and the President will approve that, Mr. Chair, and ratify through a plebiscite. Thank you.
So 2023. So maliwanag po yun, ma'am, sirs, 2023 and probably 2023 likewise will be the barangay elections. So nakikinig yung Comelec din kung may election ng 2023, sabay-sabay na yon. It will be May, but the implementation will be January for the NTA. Tama po ba yun, DBM? DBM?
That's correct, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, thank you. Unless there are some objections coming from Senator De La Rosa. Yes, sir. Without objection, House Bill number 9820, taking into consideration Senate Bill 2309, introduced by Senator Amy Marcos, is hereby approved at the committee level, and the same will be elevated to the plenary. I heard somebody trying to interject. Sino ho yun?
Okay na, sir. Opo.
Mr.
Thank
Chair, Mr. Chair,
Congressman, you recognize again.
People of Davao Del Norte, especially from Santo Tomas, daghang salamat for supporting the bill. Daghang salamat, Senator De La Rosa. Daghang salamat, Senator Tolentino. Mayong unto.
Daghang salamat, sir. Daghang salamat. Thank you, Congressman. We now proceed to House Bill 10060, creating a new barangay in the Municipality of Malang, Province of Cotabato, to be known as Barangay Poblacion B, introduced by Congressman Jose Tejada. Congressman Tejada, are you still there, sir? You're now recognized.
Yes, thank you very much, Senator Francis Tolentino, and of course, Senator Bato de la Rosa po. Good morning po. House Bill 10060, creating the Poblacion B on the Municipality of North Cotabato, is based on the Sangguniang Panlalawigan Ordinance Number 41, approved in 25th day of 1994. And this action by the province is in accordance with Section 6 of the Republic Act 7160, Mr. Chair. And of course, we have complied with the requirements of the population by census PSA. The census in 2020 is 4,128 with 874 square meters, 990 square meters, Mr. Chair. So I would like also to acknowledge the support given by the barangay captain of Barangay Poblacion B, Emmanuel Angeles, and representative of Mayor Russell Abonado of the Municipality of Lang. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Congressman. I would just like to confirm from the Commission on Elections. Comelec, are you still around? Comelec?
Yes, Chairman. Good morning.
Good morning,
Yes, sir,
ma'am.
we're here.
My
Yes, sir.
records would show that a plebiscite was conducted and supervised by the Comelec last circa 1994, and this was confirmed by the Municipal Board of Canvassers November 1995. Are these records correct?
Your Honor, Mr. Chair, actually, sir, based on our record, the plebiscite was conducted in September 3, 1995, Your Honor. It's not November 1995 po.
September 3,
95, sir.
1995. So indeed, there was a plebiscite conducted. So when we pass this, no plebiscite would be needed, Comelec.
Your Honor, I would like Your Honor to raise again, Your Honor, like in the past several meetings or hearings, sir, with regard to the creation of barangays, the position, Your Honor, of the Comelec and Bank in Minute Resolution number 21-0346 dated May 26, 2021, that plebiscite should still be conducted, Your Honor, pursuant to Section 10 of Article 10 of the Constitution, and also as enshrined in Section 10 and Section 385 of the Local Government Code. That's the position, Your Honor, of the Commission and Bank. Initially, Your Honor, with regard to the creation of several barangays in Taguig City, Metro Manila, and this is being maintained by the Comelec and Bank, Your Honor.
So let me clarify that, Madam Comelec. So even if a plebiscite was already supervised, conducted by the Commission on Elections, you would still require another plebiscite? Ganun po ba?
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
Dalawa na yun.
Yes, Your Honor. If I may, Your Honor, can I read part of the Comelec Minute Resolution, Your Honor?
Yes, go ahead. And can you provide this committee a copy of that Comelec resolution? Kasi lahat po na napag-usapan natin, ma'am, kanina, meron na silang plebisito. Tapos ngayon, magre-require ulit kayo ng plebisito?
Yes, sir. Actually, sir, this was sent to you already on November 13, 2021 po.
So again, can you repeat that? You will require again another plebiscite to be conducted, supervised by Comelec, but to be financially supported by the local government unit concerned?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's the position po of the Comelec and Bank, sir.
I think there is some incongruity here, because the reason why a plebiscite is needed is to get the consensus of the population, whether they want to separate as a barangay. So,
yes, sir.
Having conducted a plebiscite before under a Sangguniang Panlalawigan resolution will not change the effect. What the barangays to be created here are really securing is their portion of their national tax allotment. A political jurisdiction has already been created by virtue of a Sangguniang Panlalawigan resolution under the local government code. So again, requiring another plebiscite would be redundant as well as very expensive on the part of the LGU, unless the Comelec would finance the plebiscite. That's the position of the chair. So I would have to, I think I am inclined to write the Comelec a letter relative to this. Otherwise, we will have 2 plebiscites.
Yes,
am I
sir.
correct, Comelec?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. As of this point, Your Honor, what I can do is only to relay your message to the members of the NBank, Your Honor, but the position of the NBank remains the same, Your Honor. If I can continue, sir, if I can read that portion of the minute resolution, sir.
Go ahead.
Yes,
Go
sir.
ahead.
Yes, sir. Thank you po. It is the view of the Commission that the conduct of a plebiscite subsequent to the enactment of any law or ordinance creating a local government unit is a fundamental and indispensable requirement for the creation of local government units. Section 10, Article 10 of the Constitution provides, no province, city, municipality, or barangay may be created, divided, merged, abolished, or its boundaries substantially altered, except in accordance with the criteria established in the local government code and subject to approval by a majority of the votes cast in a plebiscite in the political units directly affected. The plebiscite requirement is further enshrined in Section 10 and Section 385 of the local government code. So significantly, both sections 10 and sections 10 and 385 speak of the conduct of plebiscite after the law creating the LGU has already become effective. Section 10 sets the conduct of the plebiscite either within 120 days from the law's effectivity or on the date fixed by such law. This clearly implies that the plebiscite is to be conducted or shall be conducted subsequent to the enactment of the law creating the LGU and not prior. So that's part of the minute resolution, Your Honor. I remember, Your Honor, the position of former Commissioner Guanzon. This was her position, Your Honor, and this was adopted by the Comelec and Bank, Your Honor. She pointed out during the NBank session, Your Honor, that there is a difference between the number of registered voters at the time of the plebiscite conducted under the ordinance passed by the Sangguniang Panlalawigan or Sangguniang Panlunsod, and it should be reconducted because there's a significant increase now in the number of the registered voters. And also, Your Honor, the position is the conduct of the plebiscite based on the ordinance does not preclude, Your Honor, the conduct of another plebiscite based on a law after the passage thereof. So, Your Honor, thank you. That's the position po of the Comelec as of this time, Your Honor.
Thank you, Comelec. But my issue here, as you were trying to explain the side of the Comelec, is the definition of creation. How many times do you create? How many times are you created? If you're an LGU, you're just born once. So the second legislative measure would be a reaffirmation of the initial creation. So the plebiscite conducted complies with all the requirements of the local government code. So if we change the title of the bill, for instance, an act for House Bill number 10060, an act affirming the creation of a new barangay in the municipality of Malang, province of Cotabato, to be known as Barangay Poblacion B. Will that make any difference? We are now affirming the creation. The Congress will be affirming the legislative act of the local government unit of the province of the province of Cotabato. So the creation will just be once. The higher congressional act would be a reaffirmation of the previous creation. So will that need another plebiscite, Comelec?
Your Honor, off the record, Your Honor, and this is my personal opinion, Your Honor. I agree with you that there should be no second plebiscite to be conducted, Your Honor, and the plebiscites that were conducted before should be enough, Your Honor. As in fact, prior, Your Honor, to the minute resolution 210346, I've been attending a series of Senate hearings involving the creation of barangays, and our position before is that the plebiscite that were conducted before is already enough. But as I'm a mere representative of the Comelec and Bank, Your Honor, so I don't have any choice, Your Honor, but to stand with what the NBank stand with the position of the NBank, Your Honor. But definitely, Your Honor, I will make a report after this, and I will raise your points or issues concerning this. Thank you, Your Honor.
Chair.
Yes, if like for instance, if we look at House Bill number 9816 introduced by Congresswoman Amante, Section 3 provides, Section 3 of the said measure provides that the plebiscite conducted on October 16, 2004 shall serve as substantial compliance with the plebiscite requirement under Section 10 of the Local Government Code of 1991 as amended. So this is now part of the law. So if this is approved by the Congress, it is now a specific provision that no second plebiscite would be required, Comelec. So I think that would be a surplusage, a redundancy if we conduct again another plebiscite. So either we change the title affirming the creation, or we include a section similar to what House Bill 9816 provides, that the previous plebiscite is recognized as a substantial compliance. Then there's no more need for another plebiscite. Magastos na po yun, Comelec.
Yes, yes, Your Honor. Personally, Your Honor, I do agree. I have here with me, Your Honor, a lawyer from our law department. Can he say something, Your Honor? Please.
Yes, go ahead.
In addition to what I have said already.
So that will be part of the records. But I do recognize the bill coming from Congresswoman Amante with Section 3 that the previous plebiscite would serve as substantial compliance. So if this will be approved, that will be part of the law. Go ahead.
Yes,
Who else from Comelec would like to say something?
Attorney Nicole, Your Honor. Attorney Nicole,
Go ahead,
please.
Attorney Nicole. Attorney Nicole, where are you?
Hello, good afternoon. Good morning, everyone.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes po, I'm Attorney Rosan de la Cruz Reyes from the Law Department. Um, Sir, with regard to the um, various House bills for the creation of barangays, we have already submitted our position paper last um, last January. We have here the copy of the service copy of our position paper, and as Attorney Jennifer Felipe stated, we have attached in the position paper the copy of the minute resolution with regards to the bills here on.
But I still maintain my position that your minute resolution cannot amend the law. If the new law will provide that a plebiscite is no longer needed because of substantial compliance with the previous plebiscite, your minute resolution, even if you're a constitutional body, cannot amend the law. I hope
Yes,
that should be clear on the part of the Commission on Elections. Even if you issue a minute resolution, that will be not in compliance with what the law mandates. So maliwanag na siguro tayo doon. I see a yes. Who is trying? Yes, sir, Congressman. Go ahead, sir.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Chair. When the idea presented by our Comelec representatives would have been submitted prior to, this has already become a law. It's been approved by Congress. It is submitted by that is at that time was already in compliance with what the law requires. So any Comelec resolution or any idea that's coming from that should not affect those that are already taken up, because in Congress the Comelec was also invited. It's approved in November of 2021. you were present and you're supposed to be there, and that has been discussed and it was approved, Mr. Chair. And the public resolution was already only in the year to 2021, 2022. So how would that affect the provisions that were of Section 3 following the conduct of unsupervision of the plebiscite conducted by the Sangguniang Panlalawigan and duly supervised by the Comelec, Mr. Chair?
Thank you. I totally
If I
agree
may,
with you,
Mr.
Congressman.
Chair.
Who
If
is
I
trying to
may,
say something?
Mr. Chair.
Comelec. O, sige.
Yes, from the
Comelec, go ahead.
Comelec news. Yes. Yes, sir, we submit to the wisdom. Yes, sir. We submit to the wisdom of the Congress on the passage of the bill, sir. We are just relaying the reservation as of the commission back. But as to the creation of whether it will be passed into we defer to your wisdom, sir. We support it, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. And I also concur with the statement given by the good Congressman Tejada that another plebiscite would not be required. So without objections on the part of my colleagues, House Bill number 10060 is hereby approved and the same will be submitted to the plenary for consideration. We now go to House Bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and
Congressman.
Senator
Thank you.
Bato de la Rosa and Senator Tol. Thank you to everyone. Thank you. God bless.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So we now go to House Bill number 10295, an act separating the sitios of Ibuan, Lagnas, Ibanag, Hocob, Abong, Malumac, among others, from Barangay Batacan in the Municipality of San Jose, Province of Mindoro, Occidental Mindoro, to constitute a distinct and separate barangay to be known as Barangay Ibuan. May we recognize Congressman Josephine Sato, if she's still around, ma'am?
Yes, I'm still here, Mr. Chairman.
Hi, ma'am. Sorry for being late. We thank you for your patience. Your opening statement, ma'am.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, good morning and good morning to Senator De La Rosa. My explanatory note for the bill is attached in the records of this bill. And to save the material time of this committee, I would want this to be read into the records and be considered as my sponsorship speech. But in addition, Mr. Chairman, I would just want to emphasize that Naibuan is 100% indigenous people community. And also in addition, my hello?
Can somebody unmute? Meron po naka-mute. Can you unmute? The good Congresswoman is still has the floor.
And Mr. Chairman, my bill also has the same provision as that as that of the Section 3 of the bill of the Honorable Amante Matba, which states that the conduct of the plebiscite is in compliance with the plebiscite requirement under Section 10 of Republic Act 7160, otherwise known as the Local Government Code of 1991. This representation is of the position that to require another plebiscite after this bill has been passed and signed into law partakes of an administrative amendment which is unconstitutional and illegal. So we maintain and share the position of the chairman, the honorable chairman, that no plebiscite should be held and required after this bill has been passed and signed into law. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Congresswoman. We share the same sentiment. But I'd like to ask the Land Management Bureau, and this refers to all the barangays that we've tackled so far. I think 9 of them thus far. Can you provide this committee a certification as to the technical description, the boundaries of the barangays concerned? Simula po kanina, yung sa Davao De Oro, Davao Del Norte, yung sa Agusan, and the rest. Land Management Bureau. Are you still there, Land Management Bureau?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Actually, Mr.
Nasaan po
Chair,
kayo? Nasaan po kayo, ma'am? Can you wave or... yes, ma'am. Kailangan po namin ng technical description kasi dito po yung nagpapadelay ng pag-akyat sa plenary if you don't have the certification. So can you provide this committee or are there issues concerning this? Congresswoman Sato, you're raising your hand, ma'am.
We just want to inform the committee, Mr. Chair, that Section 2 of my bill sets the territorial boundaries of the barangay na Ibuan. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. But we're asking LMB to provide us the technical description. For the rest, not just for Mindoro, but for all the barangays we've tackled so far. LMB, are you ready with that?
actually, Mr. Chair, with regard to this House Bill,
You can remove your
1029.
face mask. Wala naman. Yes, so we can understand you better. Saan pong barangay tayo nagka-problema ng technical description?
Actually, Mr. Chair, with regard to this House Bill 10295, our office has no records yet to be submitted to the committee, Mr. Chair. But
what do you mean no records yet?
actually, Mr. Chair, we are still preparing our evaluation.
Masasabi lang ma'am ni Congresswoman Sato na may boundaries na. So what do you mean? Kasi andito po sa akin, no? Territorial boundaries, bounded, that's section 2, bounded on the east along lines 1 and 2 by the Municipality of Mansalay, Province of Mindoro, Oriental Mindoro, etc., etc. So there is a cadastral survey, it appears. So
yes, Mr. Chair, but
the line tie points are part of the bill. This is a very comprehensive bill. So, ma'am, what do you mean by you don't have a survey or what?
Mr. Chair, we are still to evaluate the documents, Mr. Chair, for the necessary issuance of the certification from us, Mr. Chair. Because from all of these House bills, Mr. Chair, it appears that House Bill 1029, with regard to House Bill 10295, our office has not yet prepared, Mr. Chair, the necessary certification.
Mr. Chair.
Nakalagay na po dito yung sa section 2 yon. So, Congresswoman, you're recognized. Yes, ma'am. We cannot hear you, ma'am.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me now? As far as we are concerned, Mr. Chairman, the technical descriptions of the proposed or the existing barangay of Naibuan has been formally and officially approved by the Land Management Bureau, and it surprises me now that she's saying that they have not prepared a report. Otherwise, we would not have included it in the bill, the technical description. It took us a year, Mr. Chairman, for the cadastral survey of the barangay, and I think it is highly improper and unfair for the LMB at this point in time to say that they have not prepared a report on this matter, Mr. Chairman.
I agree kasi hindi niyo naman po i-inventohin ito. Technical po ito. LMB, how can you explain this? May cadastral survey tapos wala kayong records?
No, Mr. Chair, what I'm saying is that based on the records at hand, Mr. Chair, I cannot see the certification, Mr. Chair.
So, but the certification will be coming from your office.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
So, who will issue the certification and what will be the basis?
The LMB, Mr. Chair, issues the certification of contiguity, Mr. Chair. But what I am saying is that based on the documents I have now, Mr. Chair, I cannot see the certification of contiguity. That's why.
Yes, Congresswoman, go ahead.
So, there are two matters now. I don't know the name of the representative, but are you saying that there is no records or there are no records in your office, or is it that you do not have it with you at this time?
Mr. Chair, I am saying that yes, Mr. Chair, I am saying that I just do not have it right now, Mr. Chair, based on the records I have.
You do not have it, but that does not necessarily mean that we do not have a certification from your office. Can you just please verify and check? Because it's a very responsible statement from you.
Ano, Mr. Chair, we apologize, Mr. Chair.
What's your name? Attorney Joanna May, what's the letter C?
Casita, Mr. Chair.
So if you do not have the certification in front of you right now, when
Yes, Mr.
can
Chair.
you have it? Because we will be submitting this to the plenary, and part of the requirements would be that certification. If you do not
Yes,
have
Mr.
that, it will cause the delay. Again, we're trying to catch up because we have barely 6 session days. So when can we have that? And can you provide the good Congresswoman a copy of that certification if you have that, as long as as well as this committee, attorney?
Yes, Mr. Chair. I undertake to provide the committee and the good Congresswoman, Mr. Chair, until Friday, Mr. Chair.
Until Friday. So if I backtrack now, what about the other measures I meant that we tackled and approved a while ago? Wala din ba certification yun?
Actually, Mr. Chair, we have, Mr. Chair.
Ito lang ang nawawala, Mindoro?
As I manifested earlier, Mr. Chair, the records it only happens that with regard to this House bill, I do not see the certification issued, Mr. Chair. But I am not saying that there is no certification, Mr. Chair.
So I think I will have to side with the good Congresswoman because even the bearings and the distances are part of the bill, and this cannot just be invented. It should have come from a geodetic engineer or a surveyor. So
Yes,
without
Mr. Chair.
subject to the submission of that certification coming from LMB, and without objection on the part of my colleagues, we approve House Bill 10295 and will submit the same to the plenary.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Congresswoman.
Chairman. Thank you so much.
And we expect LMB to provide us with a copy of the certification.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Otherwise, it will delay everything.
Also, Mr. Chair, we would like to ask an apology for the good Congresswoman. I was just misinterpreted, Mr. Chair. Sorry for that.
Thank you, LMB. So we now proceed to House Bill, the deferred measures. I think we're now referring to number 1, House Bill 775, creating barangays Acmac, Ditucalan, San Roque, Luinab, Upper Hinaplanon, among others, all in the city of Iligan, introduced by Congressman Frederick Xiao. Congressman, I'm sorry for the lateness of this, but some issues cropped up. You have the floor, sir.
Good morning, Senator Tol, Francis Tolentino, Senator Pato de la Rosa, and everyone present in today's meeting. So good morning again. Maayong buntag, maayong paniudto ka natong tanan. I would like to read my sponsorship speech. I bring you the greetings of the Lone District of Iligan. The implementation of the Mandanas ruling next year will greatly affect the status of affairs of the 6 Iligan barangays in consideration, namely Acmac, Ditucalan, Luinab, San Roque, Ubaldo, Laya, and Upper Hinaplanon. These barangays were created 30 years ago by virtue of several city ordinances. However, since they have not yet attained national recognition, their funding is highly dependent on the internal revenue allotment or ERA of the local government unit of Iligan City. None of them are able to get national funding. They continue to survive mainly because of this small LGU allocated funding, which is a far cry from the other 38 barangays that receive budgets annually from the national government. With the coming devolution and very limited budgets, these 6 barangays can barely carry out the mandate given to them for their respective communities. They have to make do with what they have and cannot go beyond their meager apportionments. Their very limited resources prevent them from making significant progress in their areas that would have benefited the lives of their constituents. It is therefore timely that this representation came up with this House bill to address the gap between their limited budgets and in the many growing community services and the infrastructures expected of them in the years ahead. With the budget allocated annually from the national government, the 6 barangays will be able to function at their maximum capacity and mandate, thereby giving their respective constituents the valuable and lasting service that truly deserve after 30 years. Thus, it is the hope and prayer of this representation that House Bill 7775 be passed into law for the good of my district and the people I serve under these 6 barangays. Thank you very much, and good morning to everyone.
Thank you, Congressman. We have some questions that can properly be answered by the PSA as well as DBM. PSA, are you still there? PSA?
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
To your knowledge, PSA, and this can be confirmed by the DILG. What
Yes,
is the status of Iligan? Is it a component city or is it a highly urbanized city?
it is a highly urbanized city, Your Honor.
It's a highly urbanized city. Can we now go to the individual with the permission of my colleagues as well as Congressman Frederick Xiao? Can we now go to the because we're now tackling 6 barangays here? Can we now go one by one to the latest PSA census of the 6 barangays, PSA? So,
Okay.
can you confirm this? Barangay Acmac, population 2020 is 6,856, correct?
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
Correct. Barangay Ditucalan, population is 4,039, correct?
Yes, yes, Your Honor, that's correct.
Barangay San Roque, population 5,292, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Barangay Luinab, population 11,108, correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Barangay Upper Hinaplanon, 6,551, 2020 census, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Barangay Ubaldo, Laya, population 13,626, correct?
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
So was there a considerable increase from 2020 census to the date as we speak now? Was there an increase? Can you perceive an increase as to the population?
Generally, sir, populations
2 years ago.
in
2 years ago, it was 2020. Now it's 2022. Was there an increase? Can you project an increase?
Unfortunately, Your Honor, we do not project population count at the barangay level because the population at the barangay level is very, very volatile. Just for example, fire incident or flooding. It's very, it's very unlike the population in municipality, which is more stable. Population in barangay usually is not that stable because of it is prone to calamities. So medyo mga relocations, madali. So we do not project population count at the barangay level. But normally, sir, in general,
yes, I will not argue with you. Yes, because a while ago I forgot the barangay, but the records will bear me out. There was a barangay discussed wherein we had an increase recorded of more than 1,000. I forgot but the records will show that there was indeed there was a barangay discussed wherein a barangay's population increased by more than 1,000 coming from after the 2020 census. The reason why I'm asking this is because Iligan City has been known to be the evacuation center for most of our Marawi displaced families. So were you able to capture the families, the records of the internally displaced persons? Especially my records would show that the 4 areas have a high concentration of IDPs from Marawis, namely Luinab, Hinaplanon, Ditucalan, and Ubaldo, Laya. And these are the Iligan, Maranaos residing in the areas. Wala ba kayong records no na yung mga nasa evacuation center?
Actually, Your Honor, right now we are still processing because we have this one question in the census wherein we ask their previous residents, barangay of previous residents. So we really observe increases in population of these barangays simply because of what you stated. Merong mga mass relocation of residents, which yun na hindi natin ma-project, hindi namin ma-anticipate minsan because we do not know naman na mag-occur yung mga ganun. But right now we don't have an we have not processed yet the previous residents of the residents in the barangay, but this year we are targeting to release the detailed characteristics of the population, and by then we can probably determine who among these have come from Marawi and other areas in Lanao del Sur.
With all due respect, PSA, I think by merely coordinating with the DSWD and the LGU of Iligan, you can have a more accurate population count because it's been recorded. They've been provided medical assistance, ayuda since the Marawi siege, and there is a roster of families present in the 4 barangays that I mentioned. The reason why I'm asking you, and I'll be back, I'll get back to you. I'd like to ask the ILG. The ILG, are you around? The LG?
Yes, Your Honor. Present.
Yes. Narinig mo naman yung pinag-usapan, ano? Ano
Yes,
ang population requirement ng barangay if you refer to a highly urbanized city? Such as Iligan. The LG. The LG.
Sir, wait po.
The LG. Can you refer to the local government code, section 386?
Yes, sir, wait lang po.
You don't have a copy of the local government code? The LG.
Sir, meron po ako dito. I'm just browsing it, sir.
You should be ready. This is a public hearing. You're supposed to be with the DILG.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry po. Sir, per section 386, a barangay may be created out of a contiguous territory which has a population of at least 2,000 inhabitants as certified by the PSA, except in cities and municipalities within Metro Manila and other metropolitan political subdivisions or in highly urbanized cities, sir, where such territory shall have a certified population of at least 5,000 inhabitants.
So 5,000 inhabitants. But your records and the the PSA provided us a record. The population right now of one barangay, Ditucalan, is just 4,039. So will they still qualify as a barangay?
Sir, if Kabangkalan, if I'm not mistaken, sabi po
We're
kanina.
not talking of Kabangkalan. We're not talking of Kabangkalan. We're talking of, alam mo, TLC, kung gutom ka na, gutom na rin lahat tayo dito. We're not talking of Kabangkalan.
Sorry, sir. If Iligan City is a highly urbanized city, I think, sir, hindi po sila na-meet yung target na 5,000 na population.
Hindi na-meet yung target na 5,000. So they're not qualified. They're referring to Barangay Ditucalan. Tama ba yon?
Per section 386, sir.
What about the second paragraph? To enhance the delivery of basic services in the indigenous cultural communities, barangays may be created in such communities by an act of Congress, notwithstanding the above requirement. There is an exception. So we'll be asking the congressman, and if the mayor is around, or if there is an LGU official, are there IPs in Barangay Ditucalan, Congressman?
Senator Tol,
yes, sir.
I believe these are partly inhabited by Maranaos, particularly Barangay Ditucalan, but I don't think there are IPs, indigenous people or the Lumads in that barangay.
But the Maranaos are considered as an indigenous group, Your Honor. So I think with this, it would fall as part of the exception to the general rule mentioned mistakenly by the DILG representative here. PSA, meron ba mga IPs sa Ditucalan?
I think the NCIP would be in a better position to
Is the NCIP present? NCIP?
If I may,
NCIP.
Senator,
yes, Congressman.
If I may say something.
Go ahead, sir.
By the way, Ditucalan is just adjacent to Barangay Balui, the Municipality of Balui in Lanao del Norte. And Balui is also, alam mo na going up to Marawi, dadaan tayo ng Balui, which is mostly inhabited by the Maranaos. So I believe, Senator, sinabi mo, and I believe na qualified ang Barangay Ditucalan in terms of having Maranaos or the IPs in that particular barangay.
Thank you, Congressman. But can we have NCIP here if you're around? Comsec? Meron bang NCIP?
Yes, sir.
Chair? Yes, sir.
Attorney, yes. Please go ahead po.
Nasaan po yung NCIP? Can you
Yes, Mr.
show
Chair.
it? Yes. Go
Yes,
ahead,
Mr.
NCIP.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Regarding the question if there are IPs in Ditucalan, we
Yes.
don't have any record, sir. It's only in Upper Hinaplanon that we have indigenous people, sir. And pertaining to the Maranao, I believe, sir, the Maranaos, they do not consider themselves as indigenous peoples.
Anong classification nila?
Just the sir, classifications similar to the other tribes of the Muslims, sir.
So you cannot confirm the presence of any indigenous cultural community member, even a single individual or a family residing in Barangay Ditucalan. Can you confirm that?
We can check, sir, further with our regional counterparts, but per our record, officially we only have recognized indigenous people in the barangay Upper Hinaplanon, sir.
And Barangay Upper Hinaplanan is on the northern part Congressman, can we expedite this process by perhaps asking for a certification from the barangay itself or from the local NCIP as to the presence of IPs? Because this is the only way we can qualify Ditucalan under the requirements of Section 386 and even the exception. But if the PSA can provide us with the data as to the increase with the physical count of the evacuees coming from the Maranao siege, it would shorten the process because 4 areas, my records will show, 4 areas have a high concentration of internally displaced persons. And again, I named them Luinab, Hinaplanon, and Ditucalan, and Ubaldo, Laya. So Ditucalan is mentioned. So yung kanina na pag-usapan, may nabanggit tayo, nakalimutan ko na yung barangay sa previous bills, na may nag-increase ng more than 1,000. Ito pa kayang Ditucalan na maraming lumipat na galing sa Marawi. So, on 2 matters. 1, if the committee can have at the soonest possible time, the exact number of Marawi evacuees. 2, if the NCIP can provide us with the actual figures relative to the presence of the IPs in Ditucalan. So we have 2 assignments here. One is for the PSA, touch base with your DSWD counterpart, ilan ba yung Marawi evacuees. 2, NCIP can get in touch with the NCIP regional office or provincial office if you have one, and provide this committee with the number of IPs residing in Ditucalan. We will be facilitating the passage of this measure. Unless the good congressman can help us expedite everything within the week, sir, Your Honor. Yes, sir.
Yes, Senator. There are families, IP families, living in Barangay Ditucalan. I am sure of it kasi kilala ko sila at supporters natin. So, but in terms of communities, one community consisting of IPs, that I cannot give you a definite answer. But in terms of families residing in Barangay Ditucalan, tayo po'y sigurado at nandun sila.
Yes, we believe you, Congressman. So I think that's the only issue that we have to resolve because Iligan is a highly urbanized city, and the law requires us to create barangays with a population of at least 5,000. Ito lang po yung nagka-problema, Ditucalan 4,039, but the exception is that if there are IPs, even if it's less than 5,000, they would qualify. And my personal belief is that Ditucalan has more than 4,000 because of the presence of Marawi evacuees, as my records would show. So if we can just have that certification, I think the passage of this measure would have no legal stumbling block. So PSA, can you do that for us?
Your Honor, sir, actually, I have here a data that based on the 2015 Census of Population, which is
2015, matagal na po yung 2015.
That Barangay Ditucalan had only had a population of only 3,385, so it increased by 654. Well, kung yung mga nag-relocate po kasi sa Barangay Ditucalan was moved to a relocation area, then it would be easier to count them. But ang problema po kasi minsan may mga nagre-relocate moving to families, existing families, so parang nami-merge sila doon sa family. So medyo mahihirapan po tayo mag-trace kung saan sila galing, kung nag-join sila sa families ng mga relatives nila in regular households. Pero kung may relocation area po doon, it would be easier for us to count them ilan sila ng mga nanggaling.
I think you can do that. Kung gusto mo, ako pa magbigay ng number ng National Housing Authority. May evacuation center doon. I think you can do that on the ground. So PSA can help us by providing an accurate figure, latest, in terms of the population of Ditucalan. NCIP can provide us with a certification as to the presence of IPs in Ditucalan, and that will help facilitate the passage of this measure. Kaya ba yung PSA and NCIP? Of course, with the help of the Office of Congressman Xiao here. PSA,
Yes.
NCIP.
Yes,
Can
sir.
we do that within the week? Can we do that within the week?
Yes, sir, we can
Oh.
do that.
Okay. So, I have no further objections here. Siguro, ganun din yung mga colleagues ko. Without objection and subject to the submission of papers coming from the Philippine Statistics Authority, as well as the National Commission on Indigenous Peoples, as to Barangay Ditucalan, a House Bill number 775 is hereby approved, and the same will be submitted to the plenary for consideration, again subject to the submission of the two documents. Thank you, Congressman. Thank you for your indulgence and patience. We now go to the last measure, and this is the Doña Maxima House Bill nawala na ako. House Bill 10256, creating
And 256.
a barangay in the Municipality of San Luis, Province of Agusan del Sur, to be known as Barangay Doña Maxima, introduced by Congressman Apel Bascog. Congressman, you have the floor.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, pleasant sana udto. Ay udto kanatong tanan. With regards to the population requirements, wait. With regards to the population requirement of Sitio Dunya Maxima, Mr. Chair, we have requested last March of 2020 from Philippine Statistics Authority a certificate of population count. A PSA certified that based on the 2015 census, the estimated population of Sitio Doña Maxima is 1,467 persons. While this population requirement falls short of the general requirement of the law, Section 386-A of the Local Government Code, however, provides that to enhance the delivery of basic services in the indigenous cultural communities, barangays, may be created in such communities by an act of Congress. Notwithstanding the above requirement, the population requirement should be at least 2,000 inhabitants, but under the above provision, it may be less as long as the inhabitants are indigenous cultural communities, which entitles them to all rights, benefits, and privileges under Republic Act A371 or the Indigenous Peoples' Rights Act. In the province of Agusan del Sur, there are numerous IP groups such as the Manubo, Igaonon, Banwaon, Kamayo, and Talaandig. Manubo is the dominant IP group, and they are distributed in all municipalities in Agusan del Sur. In Sitio Dunya Maxima, the total number of IP members are 606 individuals, which is almost 50% of the total population in the said area, as certified by the IP representative in the municipality of San Luis. Hence, we fervently hope that this entitles Sitio Dunya Maxima to be qualified for the creation into a regular barangay. That's all, Mr. Chairman, and Senator Bato, to my colleagues. Thank you.
Daghang salamat, Congressman. Just to clarify my previous question, 2 hours ago, I was asking about a shaded green portion of a map shown to me. It appears now, and it has been clarified to me, that is the Agusan Marsh Wildlife Sanctuary. Yung pala yung tinatanong ko kanina, bakit different shade? Ano pala yon? Agusan Marsh Wildlife Sanctuary. So I answered my own question. So can I ask PSA? PSA, are you around? Are you still around?
Yes, Your Honor.
Population of Barangay Poblacion and Sitio Maxima in Municipality of San Luis.
Municipality of San Luis. Actually, for Doña Maxima, it's 1,406 based on the 2020 census of population and housing.
1,000?
406.
Okay. And for the mother barangay?
I just would like to clarify if Poblacion is the mother barangay. Because if it is...
Congressman, ang mother barangay po ba is Barangay Poblacion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, it's the Poblacion Barangay. Pero ito po ay creation of barangay.
Based on the 2020 CPH, Barangay Poblacion in San Luis, Agusan Del Sur had a population of 1,755 based on the 2020 CPH.
So what is the requirement again? If it is an IP community, it can fall below the 2,000 population requirement. May we ask from NCIP? NCIP, are you still around? NCIP?
Mr. Deloria? Mr. Deloria?
Sorry, sir. Hello.
Yes. Can you confirm the statement mentioned a while ago that the proposed Barangay Maxima is populated by more than 600 IPs?
Sir, based on our record, we have 733 individual population, sir, population.
Anong IPs po? 700? Sir, 700?
733, yes, sir.
So, what would be the classification? Are there manobos or what?
I don't have the record, sir. But I believe these are Mamanwa, Manobo, and Bawaon.
So, I think, Congressman, with the presence of the IPs, the measure would fall under the exception that barangays may be created in communities by an act of Congress, notwithstanding the requirement mentioned in Section 386. And also, for the record, that exception will not just apply to the creation of the new barangay, the required population, but likewise, the exception will likewise apply to the minimum number of the reduced population of the original barangay. In this case, the original barangay is Barangay Poblacion, if I'm not mistaken, Congressman. So even if the original barangay is now less than 2,000, it would still comply and fall part of the exception to the rule. DILG, can you hear me? DILG.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, so the exception to the rule is not just for purposes of creating a new barangay, which falls short of the required 2,000, but likewise for the original reduced barangay, which falls short of the original 2,000 population requirement. And the original barangay is not required to have an IP population. The IP population will just be required for the newly created barangay. DLG, have you
Yes, Your
taken note
Honor.
of that?
Yes, Your
So
Honor.
I think even with the reduced population, Barangay Maxima in Agusan del Sur would comply with the requirements of Section 386 of the Local Government Code. Do you agree, DLG?
We agree, Your Honor.
So the other aspect is the plebiscite. We have discussed this. There was already a plebiscite conducted December 1998, and I think the good congressman also included a provision that a plebiscite was likewise conducted, and to avoid redundancy, there is no more need to conduct another one.
Yes.
Am I correct, Your Honor? So I think there are no other matters to discuss. We have tackled all the measures, and without objection on the part of my colleagues, House Bill 10256 is hereby approved, and the same will be submitted to the plenary, subject to the submission of the NCIP of a certification that indeed the newly created barangay has a population of 733 IPs. So it is approved, and we will now elevate the same to the plenary. There being no other matters to discuss. Congratulations, Congressman. Comsec, meron pa ba tayong agenda?
Wala na, sir. Tapos na po.
There being no other matters to discuss, and without objection, this committee hearing of the Committee on Local Government is hereby adjourned. Daghang salamat. Thank you for
Thank you,
attending,
Senator.
Congressman.
Thank you.